Hello, my name is Allison Carmen, and welcome to my podcast, 10 Minutes to Less Suffering. And the name of today's podcast is a 2-word meditation, So What? And the first time I heard this idea was when I was watching TikTok and I heard this spiritual healer named Bashar. He came forward and said, there's this great, mighty 2-word meditation, and that's so what? He said, we're always waiting for the other shoe to drop. And then he said, what happens if we just say, so what? Because it's always an opportunity to neutralize the situation and to create something else that you prefer. He said, it doesn't matter how any circumstance is generated. It doesn't matter someone else's intention and how it's directed towards you. He said, in every situation, in every circumstance, in every single moment, there's always an opportunity to neutralize it and imbue it with the meaning you prefer. Who cares how many shoes drop? And then he says, who cares if it's raining shoes? It's only bringing the shadow out and balancing it and equalizing it with the light. And you get the opportunity to choose from a place of empowerment. When all things are equal, it's easy to choose which side you prefer without invalidating the side that you don't like. So with this idea, I started to just play around with everything that was going on during my day. And there were so many things I was able to unhook from. The first thing that happened is I overslept for 10 minutes. And I wasn't able to do all the things I like to do before I started working. I just said, so what? And that was it. No guilt, no worry, no disappointment. Accepted it and moved on. A consultant of the company I work for forgot a meeting. I said, so what? We had a good relationship. I'm sure they were busy. We can meet again after the holiday. There was an issue about my parents going to spend some time at my sister's because of the air quality from the Canadian wildfires. My sister was getting really nervous about it. My mom was getting worried. And I just took the attitude, so what? It's not that I didn't care that they might not be able to go, or it's not that I didn't care that they might be disappointed, but there's nothing that we could do about it. So if they couldn't go, they would stay in New Jersey and they would be okay, and we'd make it another day. It cut off all the projections and the overreactions and the emotions. It just got down to the root of it. Now, of course, there are some things that we are not going to be able to say, so what? But even if you say, so what, it doesn't mean you're not going to take care of it. It's just a different way to approach everything. And for some reason, it creates that detachment. And remember, detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It doesn't mean you're not going to work hard. It doesn't mean you're not going to be there for people. It just allows you not to sink with the ship. It allows you to take care of things, but know that they're outside of you. And just like last week's podcast, it reminds you that you could still be okay even though this problem's happening. You could still be hurt. You could still be all these things and still be okay. And so what is another tool for you? It might not work for you, but I had a very interesting week as I continued to say this. Bashar also said that when you let the outside world determine your view, determine how you feel, determine what your visions will be like, it's like going into the bathroom and looking in the mirror and saying to your reflection, you smile first. And then he said, you're going to be standing there a really long time. And when you think about it, it kind of makes you laugh. You're like you standing in the mirror looking at yourself, telling your reflection to smile first. But that's what we do. We want the outside world to make us feel better. We want the outside world to guarantee everything's going to be okay, that our problems are going to work out, and this is what's going to happen tomorrow, and this is the relationship that we're going to have, and everything's going to be safe and certain. We want to see good things before we're willing to be resilient. We want to see all the signs before we're ready to take the risk. We want more assurances that we could pursue our passions and our visions. But the truth is, we need to smile first. We need to hold the vision first. We need to find the strength and resilience within us, the love, the glow, whatever drives us every day. First, we need to choose. This is why I love the idea, so what? And like Bashar said, it's just a 2-word meditation. It brings you back to the moment, but it also brings you back to what really matters. Because if it really matters and you say, so what, you're going to still be facing the same problem. Because things do matter to us. But it takes the excess away. It takes away the knee-jerk reaction. It takes away the future projections, and it leaves you with the core of what's important. And if during the day you have a problem that's important, you'll stay with that. But if you just have a bunch of things happening and they're just making you feel afraid and scared and believing that you don't have what it takes or taking you away from your vision, the idea of so what can remove the layers and leave you with what is important to you. We get so lost in our problems and lost in our negativity, and yet all we want to be able to do every day is hold the vision for our lives and at the same time know that we are okay and the things we care about are okay. So what can we do? How could we incorporate these ideas into our lives? The first thing we could do, which I know might sound kind of silly, but anytime you see yourself in the mirror, smile first. Anytime you see someone you love or you care about or anyone you know, smile first. And if you can work your way up to it and you see a stranger and you feel comfortable, smile first. Before you start your work, before you start your run, before you do anything, smile first and remember how you show up for it matters. We get to choose our perspective even during difficult, challenging times. We just forget that we choose every day. And it's easy to forget because all the things that happen in the outside world, because there are things we don't like and there are things that are unpleasant and there are things that make us feel uncomfortable, but we still choose. We can still smile first. And if you're in this moment and you can neutralize what's happening, so what, this is happening, I could still be okay. Or you see a problem and you say, so what, this doesn't have to sink me. I can figure it out. I'm not going to give my happiness and joy away in this moment. So what, I'm not going to give my business away just because sales are down. So what, I'm not going to be stressed all day because I have a project I need to complete. So what, just because you had a negative experience in the past doesn't mean you can't find love again. So what breaks the connection to the past, and it breaks the connection to you overreacting in the moment, and it breaks the connection to how you're connecting what's happening in this moment into the future. It just reminds you that you have choice. It just allows you to look at any problem and neutralize it a little bit. And if you can't, again, that's okay. But a lot of things that upset us during the day really don't matter that much. So when you say, so what doesn't matter is going to come right off the top. And that's what's beautiful about it. So this idea of so what is just another tool to disconnect you from your past, to help you cut off problems that are making you feel worried about the future, and to stand in this present moment with all your strength and with all your resilience. Lessen the noise. Lessen the things that don't matter so you could show up in your life in this moment so steady and so clear and so open-hearted that you're able to hold your vision above your problems. Hold your heart open and be willing to love again. Feel free to have your passions and intentions and lessen your stress and lessen your worry. And again, maybe this idea just takes off that top layer, but anything that allows you to show up in this moment with all your power and with all your glory, smile first and know that maybe everything is still okay and maybe the best is yet to come. Thank you for listening to this podcast today. If you'd like to get in touch with me, you could email me at allison@allisoncarmen.com. If you'd like to buy my books, The Gift of Maybe or Year Without Men, they're available at all major bookstores and online retailers. And if you like this podcast, you could subscribe and leave a comment.